Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Moose here, back with another The Texas Chainsaw Massacre video. And in today's video, guys, we have some patch notes. Of course, it is the day before the update, the big update, including Bones, Wyatt, and the Graveyard. And as per usual, we do have the patch notes before they just released. So, guys, I have not even read them yet. We're going to read them here together. This thing looks massive in terms of patch notes. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's talk about it for a little bit. So, it says, read on for the bug fixes that arrived at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre alongside our newest character and map. Again, as always, the update will be rolling out at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, and players who don't have the content pass will have to pay $9.99 each for Bones and Wyatt. If you have the content pass, you're good to go. You can download them and play them immediately. It also says, lastly, players can look forward to the Rush Week Winter Holiday and Homecoming Pack. This is a new holiday pack coming for Rush Week. I expected we'd see something like this, and that's going to be the case. 2 outfits for Rush Week. Now, it does say, here we come with some changes right off the bat for Nancy. Base game, Nancy's barbed wire. Other family members can now walk through Nancy's barbed wire without breaking them, guys. This is massive. Huge change here. We have changed base game sliding door noise revert. We have reverted the virtual effects following victims that made its way to the live build in a previous patch. We have base game's incorrect loading tip. We changed the loading tip that stated that Leatherface was the only family member able to break barricades. Of course, we know now that hands can do that as well. We do have Rush Week private matches coming into the game. You'll be able to use lobby invite codes and start Rush Week. You can play solo with no set minimum amount of players needed to launch a private Rush Week match. So just like the base game mode, you can play solo in Rush Week as well. Players can assign someone to play as Johnny via the player list, and this can only be done in private matches. For Rush Week Johnny level 3, we've added back Johnny's speed increase at level 3. Now Johnny at level 3 has a speed increase, and doors slammed on him will now break. For Hand's ability tree, we have adjusted the reduce ripstall cooldown level 2 of Hand's ability tree from 40 to 30. So we do have a little bit of a nerf to Hand's ripstall cooldown coming in. I expected this. I think most people did. Back to Nancy, guys. Nancy's barbed wire removal time. We have reduced the time it takes for Nancy to remove a barbed wire trap that she's placed from 5 seconds to 3.5 seconds. So we have removal time increase. Hopefully we have the time she sets it also. Well, here we go. Nancy's trap placement time. We have reduced the time it takes for Nancy to set barbed wire traps from 10 seconds to 7 seconds. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. It says Nancy mains rise up. This is the biggest. I don't even care what we see next. This is the biggest change for Nancy. 10 seconds to 7 seconds to set the traps, guys. That is incredible. Okay, so Nancy ability upgrade stacking. Nancy's ability upgrade level 1 and level 2 quicker recharge rate were incorrectly stacking despite descriptions stating they do not. This has been an issue since she came out, guys. Not gonna lie, I have been running this with her as well. Unfortunately, they caught us on this one. They're removing that stacking. Victim endurance, another huge one. We have fixed an issue where victim endurance was not scaling correctly with the amount of attribute points put into the attribute. When adding attribute points into victim endurance, this now will impact the intended total stamina capacity along with stamina drain while dashing or sprinting and stamina regeneration. My goodness. Some good stuff here. Victims permanently highlighted. Another big issue, guys. Our team has resolved an issue where victims would become permanently highlighted to family members after being detected by Grandpa's sonar. This was more of an issue of whenever you stab Grandpa in certain cases and then get detected by his sonar, you would be permanently highlighted. So glad to see that's fixed as well. Execution Pack 4 cameras have improved in this update. Security pins, we fixed an issue where security pins was stacking the difficulty of the lockpick minigame. So security picks getting a fix there. Wireframe is fixed. Wireframe will now function as intended and activate when a player traverses through either a gap or a crawl space. I have not used a wireframe in a while, guys, since the Hitchhiker change. Base game, no cell. An issue has been resolved where the perk no cell would not lose charges and become active for the duration of the match. Sissy's perk Linger. The team has fixed an issue with Sissy's perk Linger at level 3 where the blown poison cloud particle effects didn't scale appropriately. We have a Clear Eyes fixed. We fixed an issue where generators and car batteries that were poisoned by Sissy were not highlighted for victim players who had the perk Clear Eyes. Hans' Barge attack. We have resolved an issue where Hans players would become non-functional after performing his barge with depleted stamina. We have a shared lockpick minigame progress. We've resolved an issue where lockpick minigame progress was not accurate when progression was shared across 2 or more players. Victim well teleportation. We have fixed an issue where victim players would teleport when being incapacitated after performing the jumping down well animation. I've seen this quite a bit. We have native invite errors that are going to be fixed as well. This could be huge for the lobbies. The issue where a player could not join a lobby after accepting a native invite without the game open or an initial screen has been fixed. Native invite on start screen has also been fixed. Base game view prompt on DLC. We have fixed an issue where the view prompt on DLC would not open the tutorials in full screen. Leatherface UI has been fixed. The prompts for Leatherface to rev chainsaw and stop chainsaw were not displaying correctly. We have bone scrap required UI. We fixed an issue where players would see requires bone scrap prompt when a set of bone charms had already been cut down. Wound marks were not appearing correctly on the summertime outfits for the characters. That has been fixed. Sissy's dialogue subtitles has been fixed as well. They were too small. Burst out interaction prompt. An issue has been fixed where victims would not see the prompt to burst out when in hiding spots. We have localization. We've updated and added correct language localization for the following: Maria's blackout cosmetic and various other outfits, guys, that you can check out for yourself here. Of course, we'll link this down in the description, but we have correct language localization coming in for quite a bit of those. We have the family house texture. We fixed instances where incorrect or placeholder textures were present on the ground. Water puddles triggering. An issue has been fixed where Danny would trigger water puddles at incorrect ranges. Gas station collision. Victims could partially be stuck after interacting with a crawl space in the west cell area. We have model disappearing in the base game has been fixed. Family stuck at Valve exit, another big one, guys. We fixed a bug where family players can become temporarily stuck upon crossing the Valve exit. I've had this issue many times with Leatherface running to the Valve with an overhead, and if you run into the exit area, the doorway there, you'll just get stuck for a long period of time, and it was super brutal. So good to see that's fixed. Grandpa's sonar has been fixed when sweet-talked by Maria. We fixed some inconsistencies where family players would still be highlighted by Grandpa's sonar from being sweet-talked by Maria. For new players, this is how Grandpa levels work. Levels 1 to 3, sonar highlights players moving around not in bushes and shadows. Level 4, sonar highlights players moving regardless of hiding status. Level 5, no place to hide. Base game abandoned mill lobby UI has been fixed. Family soft locked when traversing. Another big fix coming here, guys. That's been a problem in the game for a long time. We have fixed a bug where Hitchhiker and Sissy fell over amid being soft locked when they traverse through a gap or crawl space. Big fix there. Rush Week game crashes have been fixed. Lobbies for Rush Week have been fixed. The issue that caused players to experience prolonged wait times for a lobby to refill if a player left the lobby has been resolved. Environment not rendering for Johnny in Rush Week has been fixed. Devil costume textures for Rush Week have been fixed. The call police prompt for Rush Week has been fixed as well, where it wouldn't appear for a few seconds after a sorority girl re-entered the car. Blood spatters in Rush Week have been fixed. Johnny's aura has been fixed. Lobby UI, localization, cosmetic selection, failed dialogue triggers, gallows VO triggers, victim status portraits have been fixed as well. The failed dialogue triggers, the gallows triggers, and the victim status portrait triggers all are for private matches, the rest of which are for Rush Week. Guys, this is a big patch, man, of a lot of significance. Big Nancy changes here to her traps. I mean, that was one of the biggest issues with her, was just having the family members able to run through her traps and break them when it takes her a super long time to set them. Well, now her time has been reduced to set these traps, and you can freely run through them without breaking them. This is fantastic for Nancy. Hopefully we see her a lot more in the game now. Endurance, again, for victims, another big issue that's been plaguing the game for quite some time, has been fixed. This is huge for tomorrow's update, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, this has been the patch. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Of course, like I said, I'll link the patch down there. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big day, guys. We get the Graveyard, we get Bones, we get Wyatt, man. We'll have full coverage here on the channel. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more the Texas Chainsaw Massacre content. My name's Sergeant Moose. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.